We're talking about Jordan Henderson saying thanks but no thanks after just a brief spell in Saudi Arabia with Al-Ettifaq. He is turning his back on the Saudi Pro League and all the money that goes with it, and is coming back to play in the Eredivisie because he's heading to Holland, we hear, and he'll be playing for Ajax, who are 5th in the Eredivisie, 23 points adrift of PSV. Strange times for Jordan Henderson. But as regards that move to Saudi Arabia, Danny, myself and Simon have been talking about it. Who comes out of this looking worse, Henderson or the Saudi Pro League? Ian's a big Liverpool fan. Ian, good morning to you. What's your take on all of this?
Morning, gentlemen.
Morning, Ian.
Yeah, my personal feeling is that Jordan Henderson sold his soul and his legacy when he went to Saudi. Going for the money, rejected a lot of the legacy that he left behind. It's going to be very hard for him to come back into the UK and play football. He'll be a boo boy every week. I think that the Saudi league comes out smelling a lot better than Jordan after this.
Do you think so, Ian? Interesting point. Many thanks for that. Ali's another Liverpool fan. Ali, do you agree with Ian that Henderson has not covered himself in glory?
Well, I think people need to cut him a bit of slack, to be honest. We've all started a new job and then not enjoyed it, and then wanted to leave, basically. Obviously, going over to Saudi did his reputation a bit of damage with all the LGBTQ stuff. But to be honest, he's just a normal guy. We need to stop putting these footballers up on pedestals, you know?
Well, and I agree with what you're saying, but when we start a new job, we don't sit there telling everyone how wonderful it all is and how we're going to grow this job, and we're going there for a different set of reasons than the real reasons. Nobody has a problem with people making decisions that they choose to live by, or they change because it hasn't suited them. But when you've got somebody that tells you, I'm a major advocate for LGBTQ rights, except, of course, when it affects me, and I'm going to go and work with these people that I potentially have a disagreement with, and then I'm going to go over there and I'm going to do something like grow the game, and I'm there for the right reasons, then people are, unfortunately, Ali, are going to be held accountable. They're going to say, well, you're a bit of a wally. You know, you make these observations when really and truly you've got no skin in the game on one side of the argument, and when it does come down to it, you just don't have the stomach for it. And I think people will, whether we like it or not, say, that's a bit lightweight. That's not really where you should be. It's not the same as, oh, we all make decisions and we go to jobs and we find out we don't like it. We don't make these wonderful pronouncements about how supportive we are, how we believe in something, and then fly in the face of it's the Groucho Marx system, isn't it? I've got a set of beliefs, and if you don't like my set of beliefs, I'll change them.
Exactly. Is that not... There's certainly grounds to think that, Ali, are there not?
Yeah. I mean, I'm a Liverpool fan, and I was quite upset, to be honest, when Henderson decided to go over there. But the fact that he doesn't like it over there, I don't think that damages his character any further. I think he's probably got over there and realised he might have been sold a story by the Saudis, and it's not lived up to what he'd hoped.
Or maybe he didn't do his due diligence, Ali, and there's maybe that. There's another message coming in. Ali, thanks for that. It's the Saudi League that's come out worse. Could you imagine how poor that league must be for someone to quit with the amount of money he was earning? Dom's a big Liverpool fan. Dom, good morning. What's your take on it?
Good morning, gents. I think it's pretty sad the way it's turned out for him. First and foremost, I thought he was a great captain for the club, and, you know, certainly gone through some tough times at Liverpool and then obviously very successful times. I think it's pretty sad the way it's all turned out for him. I mean, I didn't think it was a great move for him at the time. I know there was bags of cash that must have been enticing, but it's quite obvious he's not factored in the family life, and definitely, like Simon alluded to, he's not factored in how he was going to be perceived by the fans and media after nailing his colours to one flag and then going to the other side. So I think he has been blinkered by the cash, but let's be honest, I mean, if it was a player who was at a middle-of-the-road Premier League club coming to the end of his days, I'd get it. I'd totally get it. But he was Liverpool captain, not quite over the hill. And I really think he could have done Milner's role, Danny, for being a versatile sort of player for another couple of years.
Yeah, it's a great point, because if you remember Liverpool's finish to last season, he was pivotal in that. They had a brilliant finish to the season, and he looked really strong, didn't he?
But Danny, to be honest with you, I think he seriously must look at it in the cold light of day when when you sat on your own in whatever hotel room he was in and thinking, what have I done here? Because I was Liverpool captain. I wasn't, no disrespect, I know because you played there and stuff, but he wasn't at like a Fulham or a Bournemouth or whatever. He's at Liverpool. He could have been part of getting them back into that bracket of fighting for titles and doing that. He could have done that Milner role for 2 or 3 more years minimum. And as for his international career, I think as soon as he's, sign that contract with Saudi, I think if you get a game for England, then fair enough, but he probably shouldn't. You sort of say goodbye to your international.
My goodness. Okay, Dom, thanks for that. Danny, should he be on the plane with Southgate to Germany?
Well, I think it depends on how he goes from now till if he was still playing in Saudi, then I'd say a categoric no. Because I think that's ludicrous. But if he plays for Ajax regularly and starts playing well, looks physically good, then maybe we'll have to wait and see on that one.
Simon, what about this? A message from Eddie. He said maybe he's an attack of conscience, of guilt. Maybe he's seen the hypocrisy and untenability of his position. Maybe he's come to his senses and he's doing the right thing. Maybe he's just a nice guy. Nice guys should stick together.
Yeah, maybe it's about what is best for Jordan Henderson, and that's fine, and that's absolutely right sometimes in life. But football's a team game, and football's part of a responsibility. He went there for what suited him, and he's now coming back for what suited him. And if we believe that's the way that football should be, then okay.
I think it's a simple case, isn't it? Look, if he hadn't ever been involved or spoken out about the LGBTQ stuff, and he hadn't done an interview when he went over there talking about the project now he wants to improve the game and a bit of awareness and all this, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
No, true.
And then Simon alluded to it earlier and made a great point. If he'd have just been quiet and got on with it, nobody would actually begrudge him going there, taking some money, making a mistake and coming back. Yeah. Loads of calls, loads of texts and tweets on it. Listen, thanks for all your involvement as always, because your participation in this show is vitally important to us. So Henderson, it appears, is coming back. Maybe the deal is done for him to join Ajax, and if it is, maybe he plays for them this Sunday at home against RKC Valvik.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.